There are some new strategies in Infinite Forbidden that we have to talk about, big dog. These strategies can be so good if the ban list goes the correct way. We just might be looking at a whole new meta. And today, big dog, I'm going to be giving you my unfiltered thoughts on these particular strategies, something that the content creators that are sponsored by Konami can't do. On top of that, I just might be talking about all the strategies that they're talking about, so might not even be a need to watch them. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. And in case you guys didn't know, today is Update Monday! A particular series where not only do we help you grow as a duelist, we help you grow as a person overall. Today I want to talk to you, big dog, about taking criticism. Now this one's kind of tough because y'all be eating me alive in the comments. I think just as a person, taking criticism from someone else is incredibly hard, especially if you don't know that particular person. But just because you don't know that person doesn't mean that they don't mean goodwill. I mean, I'm on the side of believing that most people have good intentions behind their comments. The other people, well, they're just jack. But anyways, receiving criticism puts you in an extremely vulnerable spot. And if you are able to, I think any type of criticism you should take in and then try to do something positive with it. I know in my YouTube comments, guys, some of you guys may think that I'm pushing back. A lot of the times it's just me joking around, but I appreciate everything that you guys say, the good, the criticism, everything in between. Thank you so much. I mean, to be honest, what kind of content creator would I be if I couldn't accept criticism? Overall, this is as much your channel as it is mine. And of course, you're probably saying something to only want things to be better. But that's exactly what I'm hoping for in this new Yu-Gi-Oh meta, starting off with Infinite Forbidden. There are some new exciting strategies that are coming out with, hopefully in the correct circumstances, can be some really competitive Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I think these ideas are worth talking about, even if Snake Eyes does go untouched, because let's be honest, guys, not everybody gonna be playing Snake Eyes anyways. And of course, as normal, as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors, I will be putting personal deck lists on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much for being patient too, by the way. I'm still gonna get you that duel challenge, and I got another one cooking for you guys. But let's go ahead and start off with the elephant in the room, Fiendsmith. In case you guys didn't know, Fiendsmith is going to be the chase cards of this set. If you pull Fiendsmith at your sneak peek this weekend, I strongly suggest for you to keep them, even if you're not playing Snake Eyes, because the cards are just good with a lot of other things. To break it down, the deck is centered around Engraver of the Fiendsmith, which allows you to add a Fiendsmith spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. It also allows you to be able to special summon itself as a level 6 monster to your side of the field by shuffling in a light fiend. Typically, you want to use the Fiendsmith to be able to get Fiendsmith Practice, which allows you to add one light Fiendsmith from your deck to your hand as long as you discard a card. And the monster that you typically want to discard is Fabled Lari. Now, Fabled Lari just so happens to be a light fiend monster that when discarded can summon itself, meaning that without your normal summon, you can link summon into Fiendsmith Requiem. And by tributing Requiem, you can summon a Fiendsmith monster from your hand or deck. If you guys haven't been catching on, this is a free way to summon 2 level 6s. One through Requiem's effect, the other one through the Engraver of Fiendsmith's graveyard effect. Now, this is pretty much powerful for any Yu-Gi-Oh deck, especially if Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, is not banned by the time that these cards drop. Please be banned, 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 please be banned. You can send any card from your deck to the graveyard twice, my friend, one on your turn, one on your opponent. It definitely opens up to way too many shenanigans, but even if Beatrice does get banned, it's still worth keeping the Fiendsmith cards. There are so many powerful rank 6 monsters that you get access to without even committing your normal summon. It all started off with just one copy of Engraver of the Fiendsmith. Think of DDD Wave King Caesar, which can stop you from being the Biruta Primal Being, or Evil Sword Lars that can negate a card on the field. What I genuinely want you guys to think of with the Fiendsmith engine is Destiny Hero Malicious back in the day. There's so many ways that you can get these cards to your side of the field, except this one's a little bit more broken. But another strategy is Red Dragon Archfiend.
My brother, and it's me, Destroyer of Realms, Hunter of Events, Black Atlas.
Overall, if you can make 4 slots in your main deck and have at least 2 slots in your extra deck, this could be an incredibly powerful engine for you to be able to play inside of almost every single one of your decks. But that isn't the only engine that you should be looking out for. And by the way, I know I said that you should be holding on to these at sneak peek, but let me hold it, because I am actually incredibly excited for Grandpa Moto's card. cards, specifically the Millennium Ink cards. Now, I know the Yugioh cards are pretty cool, and I may have something brewing up with that, but the Millennium Ink cards are more than just Yugioh cards. The Millennium Ink monsters can all be placed inside of your spell and trap card zone as continuous spells, and by paying 2,000 life points or revealing Millennium Ink in your hand, you can summon these monsters to your side of the field. Caveman is the strongest with 2,750 attack and cannot be destroyed by monster effects. Also, when it's summoned, it allows you to be able to add one Millennium monster from your deck to your hand. The golem that guards your Millennium treasure says the activation of your Millennium Ink cannot be negated, which is kind of cool. It also allows you to add one Shrine of Yugioh from your deck to your hand when it's summoned. The Shield of Millennium Dynasty cannot be destroyed by spell or trap effects, and then when it's summoned, it allows you to add Millennium Ink from your deck to your hand. These three cards are pretty good, and the main reason is because you can summon them to your side of the field as free monsters. Big player, since the beginning of time, Yu-Gi-Oh players have not cared about life points, and these monsters can summon themselves to the side of the field, and all you have to do is pay 2,000. I'm not even telling you guys to play the Millennium Ink inside of your deck. Just upright pay the 2K and get a free monster to your field. And another cool thing is that your monsters are 5, 6, and 8, giving you an access to an array of Xseed monsters, but if you use a level 8 monster, you can even make Black Luster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, unaffected. Okay, that part's just me coping, but I mean, it's still pretty cool, right? I think also if you wanted to, you could make a bigger engine and include Millennium Ink inside of your deck. I mean, the Millennium monsters do have a specific cost, so at some point in time, you won't be able to summon them unless you reveal the Ink. And also seeing that Shield can search the card that you need, it may not be a bad idea if you're playing a bigger engine of these cards inside of your deck to make them successful. Now, a lot of players have been playing the Millennium cards inside of their Snake Eyes deck. I think that that's pretty cool. Players have been using the Millennium engine inside of Snake Eyes because you can use the Millennium monsters as spell and trap cards to send for your Snake Eyes cards, but it also can be used in decks like Chimera that want to summon level 6 monsters because of Golem that guards the Millennium treasures. It also could be used in level 8 decks like Horus because of the Caveman that awoke. So it's actually a ton of decks that this engine can be used in, and another one could be Whitewoods. I'm not saying that it's the most optimal, but Whitewoods is another strategy that I wanted to talk to you about and is pretty powerful under the right circumstances. See, right now, my biggest beef with Whitewoods is that it will struggle going second against an already established board, and unlike most decks, its 1-card combo is fairly specific, essentially making it a 2-card combo. But if Konami uses the ban list to tone down Yu-Gi-Oh, Whitewoods alongside of a host of other strategies could be extremely powerful. The theme of this deck is sending spell and trap cards from your field to the graveyard to be able to activate its effects. Its main card, Asteria of the White Forest, allows you to be able to special summon a spellcaster tuner from your deck. There's actually so many crazy things you can do with this card by yourself, especially considering cards like Guiding Quim and Blazing Cartesia are level 4 light spellcaster tuners, but so is Centurion Primera. Rysek can send a spell or trap card to summon itself and then add a Whitewoods monster from your deck to your hand. So right off the bat, you already have 6 ways to be able to get into your Asteria. Arcia can summon herself just by controlling a White Forest monster, but also allows you to shuffle in a White Forest Synchro monster to summon herself to the side of the field for some really sneaky plays. And to be real with you, I think there's a case to be made with Centurion by itself as well, because it finally did get another tuner monster, and that's what the deck direly needed. And speaking of Centurion, I was an absolute hater of the Valiant Smasher set. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. Sorry guys, I still got to get it out of me. But I'm actually really happy to go back and say that Valiant Smashers is proving itself to be a pretty good set. Both Memento and Vaalmonica are getting some pretty good support that makes the decks really strong. See, I wasn't necessarily all wrong. This is the 3rd wave of support for both of these strategies to make them a lot more powerful. Looking at you, Konami, when it comes to giving Vanquish Soul more support, but sometimes the 3rd time is a charm. And after playing these strategies on Master Duel, I gotta say these decks got a lot better, and these cards take them over the top. For the players that don't necessarily know about these strategies, allow me to bring you up to speed. Memento is a strategy that's based on destroying your own cards and getting as many Memento cards from your deck to the graveyard. It's actually incredibly simple to do, as Memento Tatsunusu. I'm not even gonna try. The level 5 Memento monster allows you to send multiple memes from your deck to the graveyard. The deck is really good at being able to destroy itself to get a lot of effects, but one of the main focuses is Memento This 5,000 attack monster can only be summoned by shuffling 5 other Memento monsters from your deck to your side of the field, and can attack every single one of your opponent's monsters once. That isn't the best thing about the deck. Controlling the 5,000 big boy allows your trap cards in Memento Fracture Dance and Memento Cranium Burst to be able to get additional effects, and they become devastating. That still isn't the best thing about this deck. The best thing about this deck is that it can fusion summon, and Mementoian Fusion is a quick play fusion card that can actually use materials in your graveyard. Now, normally people would use it for means to summon Memento monsters, but I also want to point out that Mementoian Fusion doesn't force you to summon Mementos. You can still summon powerful monsters like Guardian Chimera and Predaplant Draco's Tapelia if the situation chooses. But that's not to say that the Memento Fusion monsters don't contribute. Mementoian Twin Dragon reminds me of Thunder Twin Dragon, but it can search you 2 memes from your deck to your hand, and is another meme name to shuffle back into your deck. You see, while you're doing all this destruction and sending your memes to the graveyard, by summoning your Big Daddy Mementoian monster, you shuffle them right back. This essentially gives you an infinite resource to be able to summon powerful monsters, but also keep game on board at all times. And the new Mementoian Fusion monster. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to say this card's name. This card, when Fusion Summon, gets you your field spell, which is huge because a lot of times the deck would have to choose between getting its field spell and its trap card. This card almost ensures that you can get both on almost every single turn. The field spell is pretty crazy because over time it gets you so much advantage you just simply can't lose. But back to the Fusion monster, it also allows you to send 3 Memento monsters from your deck to the graveyard and can destroy cards on your opponent's side of the field up to the number of Memento monsters you control. Yeah, that's kind of good. Now, moving on to the other strategy from Valiant Smashers, I'm not gonna lie, I seen Vaalmonica in Pendulum and I kind of disregarded them. But also after playing them in Master Duel, which ironically is caught up to the TCG up until Infinite Forbidden, this deck is pretty cool. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Vaalmonica is a pendulum deck that when you activate specific Vaalmonica cards, you get counters on your Vows. This seems completely terrible, but the trick about this deck is because thanks to Cellatrice, this deck is really easy to not only get counters on these particular cards, the counters can also have pretty devastating effects. Take, for example, when you have your field spelled up, you can snatch one of your opponent's monsters, and that can be during either player's turn, seeing that you can generate counters on both players' turns. And I think another thing that helps balance out Vaalmonica is that it is full of 1-card link summons. You see, the Vaalmonica link monsters require you to use 1 monster. This means that if you're taking your opponent's monsters, or if you're using a card like IP Masquerena, ironically enough, you can use itself as a link summon into the monster you desire. And the Vaalmonica link monsters are really good at being able to copy the effects of your cards in the graveyard or banished, or just simply attack for gain. Now, the best boards with Vaalmonica have been Bagusker Pass, but I expect that to change not only with the Fiendsmith engine, but also with its new link monster Valar Vaalmonica Hollow Hip. This card is unaffected by non-Vaalmonica cards while you have 6 counters. And if I were to tell you how easy it is to generate 6 counters, you'd be surprised. Guys, it's a 3,000 monster that can't be touched. No diddy though. It also then gains an additional attack for each level 4 Vaalmonica monster you control. Keep in mind, this is a pendulum deck. It doesn't pendulum summon much, but being able to pendulum summon Vaalmonica monsters is not hard. Another crazy thing is that when your opponent would special summon, it can negate the summon. That's kind of good, right? That's good, right? I got it cooking. I think that this card is one of the best things to happen for Vaalmonica, and while Vaalmonica Creator isn't as good, giving you 1200 attack while 6 or more resonance counters are on the field, and then allowing you to link summon a Vaalmonica monster, which, let's be real, IP Masquerena does that already, but I'm really excited about the link monster and the past support that Vaalmonica has had. I think Vaalmonica can be one of the stronger decks in the game, and ironically has had some tops here and there through the course of the last season, and provided the right ban list, it can make a dominant performance.